Hi everyone, interesting fact for you. I am actually sat on a little pile of books, like a gnome on a toadstool, in order to be the right height for this video, because I can't be bothered to move the camera on the tripod. So it obviously seemed easier to stack myself on a load of books. Today's video is all about really rich moisturisers that are sorting out my dry forehead. Now I know this is a bit of a tricky subject because your skin can be dry and sort of lacking in oils, or it can be dehydrated, so it needs hydrating with sort of water-based things. And my forehead is sort of a bit of both, depending. It's just really, really dry. The rest of my face isn't too bad, and I did have this last time I was pregnant as well, although I had a flakier chin last time, and the chin hasn't been too flaky. But I've basically been testing out dozens and dozens of rich moisturisers in order to find the ones that sort out my head the best. Interestingly, some of the most effective ones have been the cheapest ones, and I don't know whether it's just because they've got more sort of cheaper emollient things in that just happen to work really well at giving that sort of greasiness to the skin. I know that sounds really unattractive, but that's what I want from this. I almost want to feel like I've buttered my forehead. I want a bit of residue. I want to be able to feel it on my skin when I wake up in the morning and not feel dry. This is like instant gratification, these creams. I want to feel like I've taken a block of lard and I've massaged it into my forehead. You know, if it's a nice feel and it's got other stuff going on that will help my wrinkles and what have you in the long term as well, brilliant. But I was more looking for those sorts of creams that just feel instantly like, oh, 8 Flower Nectar Cream from Darphin. Ones that didn't make it into my selection. And you know, I can't test everything. I've tested a lot and these are the ones that I've picked. But you know, I could keep on going forever, and I will. I'll keep on updating, don't you worry. But there were a lot that didn't make it that are very high tech, very expensive, very, very good, but just didn't give me the effect that I wanted. So like, for example, Zellen's 3T Complex, an amazing moisturiser, but it's lighter, it's like a gel cream. And, you know, I should have known before I started testing it that it's not the right one for what I want for my forehead. The Murad, is it Hydrodynamic? Can't remember the name of it, but I'll link to it below. Again, brilliant, brilliant moisturiser, just didn't cut it on my forehead. Even this one, which is the Alpha H Liquid Laser Super Anti-Aging Balm, which is like putting on a cleansing balm. It turns into an oil, basically, on your head. That's only just made it into my selection. Same with the Darphin 8 Flower Nectar Oil Cream. So I'm just going to briefly talk about these ones. They're very, very different. The Alpha H, packed full of brilliant ingredients, and it's very, very greasy when you put it on. So, you know, it feels like a cleansing balm. That's gone into an oil. It's brilliant, and it does the trick, and it makes my forehead feel as though it's being nourished, but it doesn't give me that sort of bouncy plumpiness that I want on my forehead quite. I use it overnight. In the morning, I don't have a specific sort of residue on the skin, which I know I shouldn't be looking for, and it's not the sign of an amazing moisturiser, but that's sort of what I want at the moment, especially with the winter turning. Again, lard. I may as well just put lard on my head, basically. Hey. And the Darphin 8 Flower, brilliant. Can't find the one that I've been using, which is actually nearly empty, so this is a new one, just in case you're wondering. But this is very sort of rich and buttery, really gorgeously moisturising. But again, in the morning, I don't feel like, it sort of feels quite dry again. The rest of my face will be like chock-a-block full of moisture, but it's just my forehead. Pesky old forehead. So the ones that have made it into the lineup, these are the ones that for me have been like the creme de la creme of lardiness. Some of them, as I say, long-term benefits, brilliant for sort of rebuilding the skin's barrier and helping it to protect itself and all that kind of malarkey. Other ones, just sort of instant gratification. So I'm going to start with very expensive. This is the SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore 242. I've mentioned this before. It's extremely good. If you feel that your skin is often sort of compromised and dry and just it doesn't feel right, it feels like it needs some serious fixing, then this is amazing. It doesn't feel too greasy to put on at all. It's actually quite lightweight, but the moisturising effects are very long term. And my skin, I just wake up and it just feels really like it's been replenished and nourished overnight. As I said, very expensive, but you know, SkinCeuticals, you get what you pay for, and it's a very, very good brand. And yeah, this one, if you're going for sort of long-term benefits and maybe you've got very, very dry skin all over that just feels sort of sensitized and thin, do you know what I mean? Then this could be a good one to invest in. The other one, and I can't believe I'm about to talk about this because this was one of the first face creams that when I started modelling, which was 2001, people were using this, sort of fashion editors and beauty editors, and they were buying like a pot a month and it was £100. And I just remember thinking, are you completely bonkers? £100 on a face cream. And now loads of face creams are £100. Face creams are like £400, which is just stupid. Please don't ever spend £400 on a face cream. However, I do have to say, even though I don't particularly like this as an all-over face cream, and I don't know whether it's really particularly that advanced, this whole marine broth thing. There's a lot of controversy around it, with some people saying it's really outdated and not that great a set of ingredients, and other people say it's brilliant, and lots of people swear by this, and it works for them and their skin looks amazing. So I don't know, but it does the trick on my forehead, and this is Creme de la Mer, everybody. Hurrah! You need a tiny bit. It's like putting on cold cream, if you know what cold cream is, or I don't know, it feels like something that they would put on you in the hospital if you had burns or some kind of serious skin injury, and then put bandages over the top. If that makes any sense to you. It doesn't smell particularly nice, it feels quite medicinal. However, wake up in the morning and it does feel as though my face has been sort of rubbed in something medicinal and then bandaged up like a mummy. You know, like one of those scary beauty treatments you see people having and just their eyes and nose are poking out. That's how I feel about my face after I've used this. So I don't know, I'm so torn about it because it does make my forehead feel plumpy, but then on the other hand, it's very expensive, and so do lots of these that are very cheap, including, let's briefly touch upon these, shall we? The Toleriance cream from Aven, which is the rich version, and the Hydra Bio Bioderma cream, rich cream. Both of these I've done extensive tests on, including half-half faces to see which one was better. I can't decide between them, and all I'll say is that if you've got more sensitive skin, then you would go for this one, and if you haven't, then I think this one perhaps, just because this one, the moisturising effects were ever so slightly, probably by 2 hours longer. So in terms of longevity of the moisturising effects, then this one slightly pips it to the post, but it's much of a muchness. There's not much between these at all. Both very nice to apply. Neither of them are sort of overly perfumed or anything like that. They just are quite basic in feel, but they really, really do the trick. And I felt like sort of fine lines on my forehead, and you know, I've got this whole crisscross pattern of them. They were plumped out, you know, it felt properly like I was being moisturised. So neither of those are particularly expensive and did a very good job. This one is the Revitalift Filler HA. This is the night cream. You know, I really like the mask from this range. Well, this is just a cream. I mean, the mask, you leave it on like a moisturiser. I talked about that in the overnight masks video. And this one, you leave overnight like a moisturiser. So in terms of what they are, there's not that much difference, but there's slightly different ingredients in them. And anyway, this one, Wake Up, plumpy, very plumpy again, although this is more of a light gel texture, like a gel cream. So it's quite interesting that you manage to get that amount of bounciness from it in the skin. But you do, it works. It's very good, that one, indeed. This one, really great surprise. This is the Clinique Smart Night Custom Repair Moisturiser. And I thought, for some reason, because I'd only tested out the serum of this, I had the feeling that it would just not really do very much in terms of moisturisation. Also, it's oil-free. So it just doesn't sort of make sense that it would give me that oily feeling that I've been craving, you know, to just make the skin really gorgeously flexible and elastic. But it does. So a very, very good option, this one. Smart Night. Really good option if you want an oil-free plumpy cream. And then the last one, I only have a little sample pot of this, but I went away for a few days and I sort of tried this morning and night, and this is the Precious Cream from L'Occitane, and it's just really lovely and rich. It's the sort of cream that if you've had a late night and you just want to layer something really unctuous and sort of luxe feeling all over your face, then that's really nice. Anyway, I've been waffling on for ages. I will do a post on these as well at some point, and perhaps a few standalone reviews, so make sure you're subscribed to my website and then you'll get those by email when they come through. This hand is so moisturised now, and this one feels really dry. So if you're having sort of dry, wintry skin problems, then take a look at those suggestions. Make sure you watch videos that you haven't watched yet, which will appear on the screen underneath my fingers, hopefully. Otherwise I'm going to look, oh look, my black top forms a sort of background for the videos, look. Oh, that's clever. Yeah, see you next time.